What's the most number of cups of tea you've drunk in a day? 5, 10, 20? I went to Kenya to participate as a tea judge and I sipped 124 cups in 4 hours. Whilst there, in this tea drinking, producing superpower, I also managed to visit a plantation and speak to the people who pick the tea you drink every day.
So you're going to teach us how to properly pluck.
Hear about the tough lives they live.
If they're suffering and I'm drinking their tea, that's not good.
100%.
But also about the quiet revolution that is brewing in the industry. Not to mention seeing a few animals along the way. This is my trip to the Nandi Hills of Kenya. The journey began at Manchester Airport, or fall started, should I say. We, myself and the cameraman Harry, immediately hit an obstacle in the shape of our visas, which meant a stressful call to our contact Boaz in Nairobi to help us expedite the process.
Finally got the visas approved. Always remember, if you're going to Kenya on a tea trip or whatever, make sure you get your visas approved way beforehand.
Phew! On the plane we went and off we took. An 8-hour flight to Doha on the first leg. 8 hours without tea is a lot for me, so I ended up asking the confused hostess to indulge my curiosity.
I want to show you how tea is made for 241 passengers in economy class.
Which in short amounts to enormous tea bags. Look at that, the size of a human hand. Each brews about 30 cups of tea. That's the hostess thinking, ooh, don't make eye contact with that crazy tea. So a brief stop in Doha and then back in the air. Another 3,000 kilometers to Kenya, where we touched down on a beautiful morning just after sunrise.
Welcome to Nairobi! That flight was hard, it was long. I am ready for a cup of tea.
So why Kenya? Kenya is not just about breathtaking safaris and rolling savannas. It's also a powerhouse in the world of tea, producing some of the finest black teas and is amongst the top exporters globally. For decades, the country has been synonymous with bold, brisk teas that fuels the world's love for blends like English breakfast. But there is more to the story here. In the high altitude of the Nandi Hills, a quiet revolution is brewing. Specialty tea, with its rich volcanic soils, ideal climate, and a growing number of farmers embracing artisanal practices, Kenya is carving out a space in the premium tea market. So after a short flight to Eldoret and another 2 hours drive, we finally reached the Nandi Hills, arriving by sunset. I could not wait to get tasting to see what the fuss is about.
So we are here in Kenya in the Nandi Hills at the very first African Speciality Tea Expo.
I'm very excited to be here, gain knowledge from what Africa has to offer and to learn where you are and how you can compete on the world scale.
We're going to be sipping, what I understand, 31 teas together, giving producers feedback to help them make better tea. If I'm honest, I'm a little bit nervous. Tasting tea under pressure, believe me, is very different from sipping it in your home in silence and savoring the moment.
Ready, set, sip.
Move a couple on. It's about speed, it's about accuracy, it's about coming up with the right descriptions to ensure that it's actually helpful to the person making it. This one is pretty non-descriptive, you can't really tell.
If there's too many broken, uneven leaves, immediately it doesn't communicate quality.
Congratulations, it is very, very good. Oh my goodness.
You need to bring the customer on an imaginary voyage right from their seats.
All consistent leaves, that's what you need to achieve. Consistent color, consistent size. I think you've nailed it. It's very nice.
It is very
well done.
Approaching about 5 hours of judging and having tasted over 100 different teas, this has been one of the most challenging judging experiences I've ever had. And buzzing from the caffeine by the last cup, I was ready to stop.
So we've tasted our last cup for the African Tea Expo. It's been an amazing journey. I'm so tired. We've tasted some amazing teas. I'm gonna let my taste buds take a rest. I see this potential. I see African teas competing easily in this stage. But the story has to be right. There's nothing wrong with their quality. It is making sure that you push your way through the noise, get there for people to listen.
Now it's time to see these teas at the beginning of their journey within the plantations. Accompanied by some friends and colleagues of Boaz, our local connection, we head into the plantation to find out more about how these leaves are picked and what the lives are like of the people picking them.
So, you're going to teach us how to properly pluck, yeah?
Yeah.
So what is the...
For example, for these you pluck this.
Okay.
You need to maintain the same level.
Yes.
So you'd go here, leaving this
Yes.
to allow this for the
So
next.
you cut at the next junction.
Amazingly, between 60 and 70% of tea is still harvested by hand. In Kenya in particular, the majority of tea leaves, even for mass production, are hand-picked rather than harvested with machines. There simply isn't any machine capable, not yet anyway, of the same skills, dexterity, and scrutiny of a human hand and brain.
Why is it important you have to cut to that?
Now for this, I'd have to cut here.
Yeah.
This would take 90 days to rot. So it's it's extremely important to cut this because you're going to have 90 days for that to rot, then has extra
Before
7 days for that to shoot again.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in total, you'll be having 97 days.
The hand-picking approach just ensures a higher quality harvest by selecting only the tender 2 leaves and a bud, which is essential for producing good quality tea. Seeing the tea pickers hot at work around us, you can really appreciate the skill and the effort that goes into picking, and the sad fact remains, they are often not paid well. Typically, they are employed by large plantations or small cooperatives. They work long hours, often under very tough conditions. It's physically demanding, requiring them to move through steep and high altitude terrains with very heavy sacks. Daily tea wages for tea pickers varies, but on average they earn about $2 to $5 per day.
How do these people who are creating a really beautiful tea, as you've seen, achieve an income that they can actually excel with and live well with? And at the smallholder level, where they have 1 or 2 acres, it's just not possible now.
Some plantations do provide housing, healthcare, and schooling for workers' children, but these benefits can vary widely, and workers' welfare is an ongoing concern. As is the viability for the farmers with smaller plots of land, generally whose income depend greatly on international tea prices and the auction system in Mombasa.
The payment system depends on the Mombasa market price. So I don't get, as a little farmer, if I'm a Kenyan farmer, I don't get a reliable price. It goes up and down depending on the commodity in the world market.
As my time comes to a close in Kenya, I reflect back on the incredible time I've had, seeing and tasting wonderful products that are being grown and made here, meeting the amazing people and immersing myself in the culture. We even managed to squeeze in a safari, which was just wow. But also seeing the challenges that remain for people of the tea industry here.
Specialty tea is about telling stories,
It's
isn't
telling stories, you're right. If they're suffering and I'm drinking their tea, that's not good.
100%.
Innovations in farming practices and specialty tea production hold promise for improved incomes and improved living standards for the people. Also, because of a new product that was born in Kenya, purple tea, possibly the healthiest tea on earth, which I will be covering in the next video. Make sure you subscribe to stay tuned.